RFK, I kind of think like everybody knows by now that he's a dog and a hoe, and there's no consequences, right? It's kind of like with Donald Trump, right? It's like baked in.
The ladies of The View have entered the chat. On Monday, September 23rd, the hosts of the popular daytime talk show discussed a recent report by the Daily Beast, which claimed Robert F. Kennedy Jr., quote, bragged that he had intimate photos of New York Magazine reporter Olivia Nuzzi. The report followed Puck News's, which claimed the Politico correspondent sent, quote, demure nude images of herself to the former 2024 independent presidential candidate. The two have been subject of headlines after news broke on Thursday, September 19th, that they have been in an alleged personal relationship. New York Magazine issued a note to their readers explaining that she was placed on leave while a third party investigates, adding, had the magazine been aware of this relationship, she would have not continued to cover the presidential campaign. Host Alyssa Farah Griffin weighed in by saying she considered the star Politico reporter a friend, and argued that while it blurred ethical lines and didn't agree with what she did, she feels the attention has been disproportionately directed at Olivia than RFK Jr.
I actually consider her a friend. She was really there for me and a part of my life when she didn't need to be. I'd also say she's considered a world-class journalist. She's young, but she's considered one of the best profile writers. That piece she wrote of RFK was scathing of him. She didn't pull punches. Now, I agree, it blurred ethical lines. I don't agree with what she did. I think she will acknowledge it and take responsibility. But I am... every time I see a headline that says Olivia Nuzzi scandal, no, RFK scandal, a former presidential candidate who's married for, I want to say, the third time, who engaged in this, who's now a top surrogate to the Republican nominee for president. But it goes back to just this sexism that we fall into. The reality is this. People want to make money in this business. You put up a picture of Olivia, more people are clicking than if you put up a picture of this man. I think that men need to bear a little more responsibility in this. It's so predictable. And finally, I don't agree. I don't believe in cancel culture. I think she is a person who has cut her teeth in this industry. She unquestionably made a mistake, but I think if she takes responsibility, she should absolutely have a cutback.
Anna Navarro then explained that in her opinion, Olivia, who she says she also knows and is extremely talented, had a lot more to lose. And the issue is that as a political journalist covering the 2024 election, her work is now called into question since there could be a conflict of interest. She also called RFK Jr. a, quote, dog and a hoe.
I think the reason that she's paying more consequences is because RFK, I kind of think like everybody knows by now that he's a dog and a hoe, and there's no consequences, right? It's kind of like with Donald Trump, right? It's like baked in. He's had a long record of philandering for many decades. His wife knows it and seems to be okay with it. So, like, what are the consequences for him? The truth is, Olivia, who I also know and think she is extremely talented, had a lot more to lose in this, and she is losing it. You know, she's the magazine right now is conducting a review and an investigation of the situation. It was unethical, and it kind of now puts all her writings in a different perspective, and they're going through them with a fine-tooth comb to see if they see any conflict of interest. That's the issue that she was covering. The issue here is the conflict of interest, that she was covering the presidential campaign while writing pieces, and the question is, because she was having this relationship, is there a conflict of interest? If not for that, listen, you can be freaky, you can send pictures, you can do whatever you want. It's just not if there's a conflict of interest in your job.
Meanwhile, Sarah Hines and Whoopi Goldberg cautioned that nothing can disappear from the internet and to be careful with what you send.
Well, I feel like they couldn't put the scandal on RFK because he has so many, they don't really have room anymore because the headlines are like a little kind of imbalanced. But I get the optics problem of this was her beat and she did this, but I can't, not in regard to her, but to everyone out there. We have an AI problem coming up that's going to put us all in nude pictures that are going to circulate. We've had it already happen. There's been incidents where people have been crushed by this. But I would also encourage anyone online to really watch what you're putting online ever, because these clouds can be hacked into. There's so much stuff. So I always say, don't take nudies. Like, just don't do it ever. Because, like, we know too much. Like, you can't do this. Okay, wait.
Rudy says don't take a nudie.
If you're gonna take a nudie, do it on a Polaroid.
These were very demure nudes, though. They were demure.
Yeah, so were they mindful?
They were mindful and demure.
Well, you know what? Listen, everybody should remember nothing disappears from the internet. Nothing.
Yeah.
You said it from the minute that cloud came
Yes,
on. You were
as
like,
soon as the cloud, because
I got everything in the cloud.
everything that you've done, if you think your phone isn't listening, if you think your phone isn't tracking everything you're doing, you know it is.
So is Alexa.
You know? Yes. So all these things are taking information from you. So if you're going to snap a picture, know that someone's going to see it, or know if you're sending it to someone who has a reputation, they're going to include you in the discussion. So you don't want to really mess with people like that. You don't want to do it. And young people, this stuff does live on. And you think it's not going to affect? It is.
Yeah.
It is, because once someone has it in their mind that this is who you are, that affects everything.
It does.
And I know I'm old. I know I'm old, but I'm a smart old. Don't do it. Don't send it up. You took it on your phone. Don't send it to anybody, because you could lose your phone.
Enjoy it by yourself.
Yes. Make yourself happy. Yes. Say, look how good I look right now.
Nuzzi, who was engaged to Politico reporter Ryan Lizza until the news broke, told CNN in a statement that the relationship was never physical, but added that she should have disclosed it, saying, "Earlier this year, the nature of some communication between myself and a former reporting subject turned personal. During that time, I did not directly report on the subject nor use them as a source. The relationship was never physical, but should have been disclosed to prevent the appearance of a conflict. I deeply regret not doing so immediately and apologize to those I've disappointed, especially my colleagues at New York." Meanwhile, an RFK Jr. spokesperson told NBC News, Mr. Kennedy only met Olivia Nuzzi once in his life for an interview she requested, which yielded a hit piece. RFK Jr. has been married to actress Cheryl Hines since 2014. After the news broke, the Curb Your Enthusiasm star appeared to ditch her wedding ring while in Milan. She also celebrated her 59th birthday in Italy without her husband, who was campaigning for former President Donald Trump in Las Vegas.